Hey, I'm back. Yes, it's Dominic D'Angelo. I'm of adfreeshows.com, SEScoops.com, and brassringmedia.com. Check it out. I am live with all of you. Robert is not here today, but I am. And this is the second go around. If you are just tuning in and we're unaware and wondering why we're at 1 o'clock instead of noon today, right when the show was starting, I got a text message from my gas company saying the gas guy was going to be here in like 15 minutes and that they have to check my meter and make sure everything's copacetic. And so I had to cut out early and we had to reschedule for right now. So I'm back and we are going to talk a little bit of the rest of the news, particularly Dynamite, the 3-hour Dynamite we have ahead of time. Dynamite Collision together. So there you go. Travis Wardlow puts it in the right manner, says, Rumor and Innuendo Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. Heck yeah. Dre Owens is back too. Good to see you again, Dre. We got Dari Benny in here. Yo, what's up? Welcome. If you're to whatever channel you're tuning in, be sure to hit like and subscribe. Get the word out about the show. But happy to be here with everybody. Happy to preview AEW Dynamite and what's going down in the wrestling world. I did want to make mention a side news element. CM Punk went on Instagram to reiterate how invasive it is for people to approach him at airports. And I mean, if you've seen footage of some of this stuff, not necessarily Punk has any footage out there of him being at airports and being accosted at airports, but you've seen Rhea Ripley, we've seen Rey Mysterio. I think Jeff Hardy was up on one before. Several videos of wrestlers being accosted at airports. And boy, I'm really with CM Punk on this. You know, pick and choose your moments. Be able to read the room. Airports are not a good time to do it. I know this is like maybe your only opportunity to see this person, or you're thinking in your head it's your only time to interact with this person, whatever it may be. But just kind of understand that they're living their lives, and airports are just such a stressful moments of downtime, like very little moments in between of what these wrestlers are doing when they're traveling. It's just a horrible, horrible time to kind of deal with that stuff. Like, you know, it'd be one thing if people at airports, you know, if it wasn't an overall ongoing occurrence, but you had fans that would but it's seriously like it drains you. Even me traveling a little bit from places and experiencing the little sample size that I do when traveling, trying to put on a face and sign stuff. Like that's the one thing are some of these people are not there because they're fans. They're there because they want you to sign their items so they can sell them on eBay. And it's a clear, deliberate act. Like they'll bring items and items knowing that wrestlers are going to be at the airports, and then they'll go and sell these items on eBay later on. And so, like, I'm sure all of those WWE talents have experienced that in one form or fashion, and that is extremely aggravating. I mean, Punk kind of basically set his own parameters, saying, like, I will be Mr. Nice Guy all throughout. Anytime I have WWE engagement and I'm doing any of that stuff, I'll take pictures, I'll do whatever while I'm at shows, while I'm around shows, everything like that. But while I'm at an airport, while I'm out in public, like, just please, like, leave me alone. And this is not a new thing, like with wrestlers, specifically with wrestlers either. Like CM Punk's a big fan of Slapshot and Paul Newman in Slapshot. Paul Newman was very did not really sign autographs, did not do any like fan friendly kind of things a lot of the ways. And Paul Heyman, Paul Newman was one of like my favorite actors and favorite people and stuff like that. Very philanthropic, whatever it may be. But he would do his own thing too and not necessarily do that. So, I mean, Punk is great with fans when you interact with them and things like that. But geez, pick and choose your moments. Understand that this is like, and people don't care. That like the people that do this, they actually probably don't care. So even Punk saying this, those people aren't necessarily reading or understanding what's going on or care for that. There's like something in their brain that is absent for people to just unabashedly kind of do that kind of stuff. It's just like, where you are part lizard, sir, herb Adam, and there's something, your chromosomes are a little mixed up right now because, like, for you to be able to just kind of do that, hey, can you sign this? Can you sign this and this? It's just like, come on, people, come on. Yeah, I'm super late, aren't I? I'm super late. But figure I saw Punk made a post about that on Instagram and just wanted to kind of talk about it a little bit too before we get into the sticky icky of AEW here and what's going down. If you're tuning in live right now, I will note that right now too, right after you're done watching this, you can go to brassringmedia.com and check out my interview with Real One, aka Enzo Amore. Man, so he was great. We initially, like, he got on and I was like, hey, how's 20 minutes sound? He's like, yeah, 20 minutes perfect. Well, we went for an hour, over an hour, and he has not done a wrestling interview. He told me he hasn't done a wrestling interview in years. So I was like, his first interview that he's done in years. We just recorded that yesterday. It's up right now on brassringmedia.com. So once you're done checking this out and previewing Dynamite with me, go to brassringmedia.com, and it's probably going to be the first thing you see because I posted it and pinned it and all that kind of stuff. So, but he covers a lot of ground from Fourth Rope with West Side Gun, that new wrestling promotion. Really exciting stuff that they have planned and are kind of cultivating right now at the moment. And then on top of it too, he shares some history, like his exit from WWE, being in ROH, and how that all got spoiled, how the fans in a lot of ways spoiled that opportunity for him and Cass and the Briscoe brothers to actually wrestle. That was all according to plan, and it all got fumbled because of the fan outrage and stuff like that. And then talks about John Cena and how John Cena was a huge part of his career. Talks about Dusty Rhodes. Covers so much good ground. Really, really fun. As you know, he can talk. So he talks and he covers a lot of great subjects that are a lot of fun. He's a fun interview all the time. I always like chatting up with Enzo, Real One, and he does a good job at this one. This one is a worth your watch for sure. I'd love to get feedback on it too. So check it out right now or after we're done here. But we have All Elite Wrestling tonight, 3 hours, a 3-hour show. And my goodness, they got some interesting things on tap. I do want to make note, and this has been circling around the news recently too, but this is the first I've kind of got more context with it. Oh, it didn't pop up. Oh no, Dre Owens, but hello again, RNI. Ibushi, Kota Ibushi looks to be out for about 2 years. Man, this is not too long after he got back from such a devastating injury that kept him out for, I think, at least over a year. And now here, I believe he sustained a really, really bad leg injury. You obviously, we're not wrestlers, so we don't get in the mind of wrestlers, but I can understand wrestlers, once they do get injured, that they don't want to give up the ghost of doing it. Kota Ibushi is 45 years old, I believe. Looks great. Was one of the top stars in New Japan, and but he's been pretty understated even since coming back to AEW. And yeah, look at this. So this is what he says. My current condition, 1 year to fully recover, 2 years until I can step into the ring again. Wow. I believe in myself more than the doctors. I absolutely don't believe in that. I know I have amazing DNA that gives me the ability to heal. So look, he's not writing off ending his career. I am in no spot to tell him to end his career or thinks he should hang it up just because it's a devastating injury. So yeah, it's Sports Illustrated adds Ibushi is in his 40s and has been wrestling since 2004. So injuries might be catching up to him. It'll be hard to recover from severe injuries such as a fractured femur. Wow. If you're not aware what the femur is, that is your big leg bone, like your thigh bone. That's your massive one. You have your femur, and your fibula, I think it is the other one. And is that correct? Or is it tibula? But either way, it's your big leg bone. If you fracture that, man, 2 years, that's rough. Good luck to him. It's kind of a bummer that he hasn't been utilized in the right manner since really obviously he's been hurt, but him coming back here and his return has been very underwhelming because we barely seen him. He's only like he seems like a collision guy, and it's like this was a Bushi who, like him even showing up in AEW at one point in time was a big deal, and now it doesn't feel like anything. And so it's unfortunate. Best of luck to him. Uh, but we got some Dynamite to cover, and boy, oh boy, don't know. They haven't delineated what exactly will be on Collision and what exactly will be on Dynamite, but they do have the full card listed. So we do have Sky Blue and Jamie Hayter taking going on one. And look, I like Jamie Hayter a lot. I think there's so much value in her. Um, Sky Blue too, probably, but really, have we gotten too much? Have we really seen a lot of what she's capable of from a persona standpoint? She's kind of been aligned with Julia Hart. Where's Julia Hart been? And but I would have to think Jamie Hayter gets the win here, because the little again, another talent that's been underutilized, but and been injured too in the same light. Um, like there's still been a little bit of a focus on Jamie Hayter. So I would assume that Hayter gets the win here. Um, but will they make it mean something? Like that's the thing is, you know, they have several women matches on this card tonight, but it really seems like, Tony Storm is the main focus, and then it's Chris Statlander, and they have famous last words before their Wrestle Dream match. So that is not a match. That's just a segment. And but other than that, all these other women talents seem to kind of be floating around. Like Willow has been given a prominent, like, kind of feature a little bit recently. I would like to see more done with her. Um, but like it's just a lot of I don't know, like the women's division, it's stacked, and Robert and I've talked about how talented a lot of these women are, but you do not see them as often as you should. Two of which here will be Megan Bain versus Harley Cameron. Hopefully, this one is on Dynamite, the main crux, the main aspect of the show during the 8 to 10 p.m. hour, because both these women are like should be their top stars, like alongside a Tony Storm and alongside like a Willow Nightingale, alongside like you, Chris Statlander, who's your champ. Um, Still love Thunder Rosa. Wish she would still be in the mix right now too. I don't know if she's hurt, but like, what are you gonna do here? You gonna job out Harley Cameron, and then, or you gonna have her get an upset win against Megan Bain? If you do that, you can kind of cultivate a feud maybe between these two and make that interesting. I just don't know. And then we've had the women's titles announced, tag titles announced on tap. When is that coming to fruition? What's going on there? We have a filler match here. It's Claudio going up against Roderick Strong. Man, speak about some ROH history here. Jeez. Uh, Fun like that. But like, again, Roderick Strong, we had Kyle O'Reilly last week go up against Kyle Fletcher. And Kyle like lost, and it didn't resonate. Like you think about Kyle O'Reilly with Bobby Fish and Red Dragon, and and then their alliance with Adam Cole, and how cool those guys were, and like how big of a deal that kind of all felt. I know Robert has his own thoughts about Kyle O'Reilly and personality stuff, but I mean, like before I started even doing the show with Robert, I Kyle O'Reilly was greatly on my radar, like NXT, but even before that, ROH, him and like as Red Dragon, they felt like a viable top tag team that I wanted to watch more of. And so now they're just filler guys. And so this is going to be a filler match. Him, Roderick Strong going up against Claudio should be a fun one, but like, what's the purpose? Because they don't really give Claudio much of a spotlight to do anything. He's just a filler guy for the Death Riders. He's a name on the Death Riders, does not talk, does not cut a promo, does not do anything that really makes him stand out. He's just a soldier in the ranks of this dead Death Riders angle. So what are you going to do here? Speaking of Death Riders and Kyle O'Reilly, the Death Riders and Wheeler Yuta and Danny Garcia will be teaming up to go against Orange Cassidy and Kyle O'Reilly. Probably thinking how it's been setting up that the Death Riders will get the win here, and it will be Kyle O'Reilly taking the pinfall. If you're looking at it in certain ways. So, like, that's the thing is like Raw, WWE, ultimately, if you go over the past year or whatever it is, they've been good at making things happen with a purpose and certain ways. Everybody has some sort of meaning and agenda or something tangible on Raw and on SmackDown overall over the course of the past 6 months. As recently, I could be a little critical and say, like, no, they haven't necessarily done, like due diligence with like Penta or things like that. But if you take it from the past year, they've overall done a pretty decent job at attention to detail, continuity, making things flow week in and week out, and giving some sort of purpose. Like I just said, Kyle Riley does not have a purpose right now, except he takes pinfalls and things like that. So like these are kind of forgotten characters. But Danny Garcia, yeah, I know he's part of the Death Riders, but never. What's his reasoning? What's anything like? Did he talk about this on Collision? Like he just there's Wheeler Utah gets some heat, but it's just like whatever. It's Death Riders again. So like I just think this is an overall angle that is detrimental to your product because I think everybody's happy to see Orange Cassidy back, but like if he's feuding with the Death Riders, why does it even matter? Like he was feuding with the Death Riders before he got hurt. Now we're still feuding with the Death Riders. This is just ugh. All right, special face to face, John Moxley and Darby Allin. All right, so last we saw Darby Allin got tackled by a security guard after having a Molotov cocktail that he was going to use at Daly's place. And if you're an ardent fan and you're really into the weeds, you saw Darby Allin actually on Arrow Hawani having making some comments, talking about like a cancer that got removed, like from a locker room standpoint. Everybody initially speculated that it was CM Punk, which it was not at all. Like Punk and Darby are friends. So there was other speculation as who he's maybe referring to, whether that maybe be Miro, Aleister Black. What's the other one? There was another name too that was kind of floating around that maybe. Oh, I was kind of thinking like, was he referring to like Ryan Nemeth? I have no idea who he's talking about actually, but so those were some names speculated and thought of, but he never named any names. People thought it was Punk. It's not Punk. Anywho, here we are. We're with John Moxley and Darby again. Kind of don't care because I don't care about the Death Riders, and I don't think we've seen the song and dance again. So it's just like, here we go. More of this stuff. Don't care. What are you going to do to make me care about it? Because we've seen them have their street fights and their blood feuds and everything to this effect. What more can you do with this to make this any type of interesting? I don't think there's a whole lot you can do, if anything, for me. I'm not tuning in to see John Moxley goes face to face with Darby Allin because there's no substance behind the Death Riders. There hasn't been since they started. We thought there might have been starting off. It seemed like an intriguing thing to do, but then they were more like the Riot Squad where they would just like spray paint garbage cans or like unlock a door and leave it open or leave the gas on a stove. Like they did not do anything NWO-esque with coming out with metal baseball bats and overtaking people and taking people out. They never did any of that stuff. They just look Moxley is some leader that's a bit of a coward, which is fine, but you need your soldiers to actually be impactful and do stuff and not fodder and not soldiers that are like the Foot Clan for Super Shredder. Man, I'm making a lot of references today, aren't I? But so not super intrigued by this. Always to an extent, a little pretty intrigued by what Tony Storm does. So the famous last words thing with Chris Statlander could be interesting, but again, it just doesn't. I don't think they're really hammering home the point that what is making these feuds compelling. It's just stuff thrown together. Like, okay, Chris Statlander, she just won the championship. Now Tony Storm's getting a rematch already. You can make it make sense for sure, but what is compelling behind that? Like give us something. And So they haven't done that, and now we're going on the go home show of it all, and so now we're gonna maybe get something. But again, it's just the same rhythmic pattern that AEW has lulled themselves into here. All right. Hey, the trios titles. Remember those? Those are on the line tonight. As LFI, that is Sammy Guevara. No, Sammy Guevara is just ringside, I guess. That is Beast Mortos. Uh, is it Dralistico? And then Roosh taking on Samoa Joe, taking on Shibata, taking on Powerhouse Hobbs. Those are your trios champions, are the ops. All right. Haven't heard anything about the trios titles in forever. Haven't seen the trios titles in forever. But we're getting this match, and it's supposed to mean something. Apparently, Hangman Page is involved in some form or fashion. I'm trying to see Hangman Page on commentary. That's what. Sorry, I was looking at the graphic that they have in my contacts, acting wonky. Hangman will be on commentary during this, so you know he's going to get involved in some form or fashion. Maybe cost Joe the ops the trios, and I guess in that regard, that's pretty compelling. But like, and in the same turn, you're helping boost up LFI, who we'd never freaking see. So, and we probably won't see after this. Look, I'm sorry, I'm a skeptic today, but that's just the name of the game here. Hey, if you want more trios, we got more trios. Kenny Omega is teaming up with Jurassic Express to take on Mark Davis, Hechicero, and Josh Alexander. Conspicuously absent from this whole card are the Young Bucks. So I would imagine that they would get involved in this match and perhaps cost Kenny and Jurassic Express a win, as we never see Mark Davis. We see Josh Alexander, but he never talks, and Hechicero never talks either. So will this be on Dynamite? Will this be on Collision? Like, who knows? Who knows? Oh, we do have another tag match too on top of this. And I have my questions already on this one. My gosh. I'm sorry I'm so negative today, but I'm not in a bad mood. I'm just not, but I'm just seeing this card and just what is going on. We got the Hurt Syndicate taking on Gates of Agony. And that's Bobby Lashley, that's Shelton Benjamin taking on the Gates of Agony. So okay, what are we doing here? I feel the Gates of Agony to get a win here, but the Hurt Syndicate has always been unstoppable. I don't think this match does not benefit anybody, any team. If the Gates of Agony lose, then they're losers again, and they're constantly losers. We already saw them lost the tag team title match. We already seen them lose in a trios match as they team with Ricochet against the Hurt Syndicate last week, as a matter of fact. They're losers. They shouldn't be losers. They're big dudes. They should not just be enforcers for Ricochet. Ricochet is not on the graphic, nor is MVP. Doesn't necessarily that he won't be on the show, but yeah. So that's your card for tonight of both AEW Collision and Dynamite. Let's see what folks are saying here. Tony Gong says Moxley's Muffins versus Darby's Danishes. Book it, Tony. Oh man, I could go for a Danish right now. I have not had a Danish in forever. Muffins, I'm kind of on. I can do with or without. Stuart Green says 3-hour show and the ad breaks will have better storylines. Yes, I can't argue that. Let's see. I do have to give a shout out to our sponsor this week, and that is The Perfect Gene. I tell you what, I've said this on my other show, RVD. I'm saying this right here, right now on Rumor and Innuendo. The Perfect Gene is no doubt, undoubtedly my favorite pair of jeans that I have ever owned. And that is no hyperbole. It's serious. I am serious. It is my favorite pair of jeans I have ever owned. I wore them at work on Sunday, and I forgot a belt. And I'm a 28-30. But I have but I must have lost some sort of weight because the 28-30s are they're too big on me right now. But fear not, because if that is the case for you, if you're losing weight or even if you're putting on a few pounds, the Perfect Jean has the pair of jeans for you. And with fall coming around, it's getting to be jean weather back again. If you gotta closet up those shorts and bust out a pair of some jeans, why not get a new pair of jeans? Start fall off right with the Perfect Jean. Um, I've got the Joker blue ones, and so it's kind of like this classic kind of feel and look to them all. And seriously, I love every bit of it. I want to get like a pair of black jeans, I think, or something too here at some point. But like the Perfect Jean, like you can pick your style, you can pick your size, and you get it shipped to them. They ship them to you, and once they do ship them to you, if they don't fit you, you just send them right back, and you get no issues or no problems when it comes to paying for shipping or anything to that effect. The Perfect Jean has the right things for you for this season, so take advantage of our special offer that we have for you. For a limited time, our listeners get 15% off their first order plus free shipping. So there you go at theperfectjean.nyc, or just Google the Perfect Jean and use code rumor15 for 15% off. That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectjean.nyc with promo code rumor15. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we, Rumor and Innuendo, sent you. F your khakis and get the Perfect Jean. So shout out to Perfect Jean there. What's up? Just joined Triple E's in the house. He says, why the special episode moving to Indiana? Thoughts I'd missed live. You're moving to Indiana, the state, or Indiana, PA? Because that's where Jimmy Stewart's from. And that's not far off from actually Pittsburgh, to be a matter of fact. Anywho, Triple E. Yes, late episode because the gas guy came earlier at noon, and I had to end the show early and make the return at 1 p.m. So here I am, and here you are. So welcome to the show. But yeah, I think Dynamite has some work to do to get me intrigued for Wrestle Dream. Tomorrow, I will be on the conference call with Tony Khan to talk with him about Wrestle Dream and the pay-per-view. So, and whatever maybe fallout we'll have from Dynamite here. So if you guys or gals have questions that you'd like me to ask Tony Khan, we all get one question to ask during the conference call. So I, at the moment, am not sure what I am going to ask. Last time I did ask about Wardlow, I think it was. Yes, I did ask about Wardlow last time. And actually, we got a good answer from Tony Khan. He kind of clarified some stuff, and he admitted that that Wardlow would be gone out for a while, and it was unfortunate because they had plans for him. So if you guys have a question you want me to ask Tony Khan, drop it here or hit me up on X. I actually got to get back to Wrestling Old Head too. I think he wanted me to send him an email, so I have to do that still. What was I going to look at? I was going to look at the dirt sheets real quick, just to make sure I'm not missing anything important or breaking, because I haven't checked. Let's see. Not seeing anything really else that would be pertinent to talk about, maybe. Yeah, I covered the CM Punk stalking stuff, or how he calls out fans approaching him at airports and stuff like that. So, no, I guess that'll do it, right? Dynamite will be in Kansas City, so shout out to Kansas City. I've actually never been to Kansas City. I hear good things about the city, actually, and it's a pretty nice place to live. Obviously, they have the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, and indirectly Taylor Swift. The Royals, they were competitive at one point or another. All right. Yes. So there's the show. Thank you all for tuning in. Let me just check the chat real quick. Anybody say anything? Oh, Huntington, Indiana. Okay. Well, cool. Good luck on the move. Stay safe. Moving's always stressful. Hope it's not too stressful for you, Triple E. And it's an efficient process for you. But this was an efficient process. Not really, but today it's good to chat with all you. You can catch us every Monday through Friday here on the @WCreative_ish X account, the @Dominic D'Angelo X account, on Ad Free Show's YouTube page, @SE Scoops X account, Rumored Innuendo YouTube page and at the Oh You Didn't Know YouTube page. So be sure to like, share, subscribe, get the word out, and we'll get the word out more tomorrow here on Rumored Innuendo. My goodness. Best of luck in your future endeavors and enjoy 3 hours of AEW.